What's going on, guys? It's Stock Picks by Tim, and in this video I'm going to talk about AMD's earnings. I'm going to check out the chart, and I'm also going to provide you with some clips from the earnings call. Earnings went very well, and we also gave a very good outlook, so that's fantastic. And you will notice that we ran pretty nice after hours with a nice 6% gain so far. They hit a $1.13 positive EPS, they hit 5.9 billion in revenue, and they actually gave a forward outlook of 6.5 billion in revenue. Now, before we get into the earnings call video, if you want to watch the full thing, it is close to an hour long. I will leave you guys a link below, as well as some links to some free stocks, crypto, BlockFi credit card, all that good stuff. Now, we are hovering above overbought, and we are now sitting right near 98. So I think at some point this week, it could be great for a breakout trade above 100. And to the downside, if we break roughly 95, I could definitely see us coming towards that $90 level. Once we broke out of this channel, we have been just starting to come up ever since. So is this the bottom? Maybe. Now just watch this one. We are having our Fed meeting tomorrow as of this upload. So overall tech could drop a bit. That might cause AMD to drop a little bit as well. However, they have pretty good news. I expect this to continue pretty well. And I do expect this to potentially break 100. If it does, it'll be great for a breakout. All right, now let's get on with the earnings call.
We reached a significant inflection point in our journey during the first few months of 2022 as we took several major steps that fundamentally reshape our business. In addition to delivering record financial results, we closed our strategic acquisition of Xilinx and announced our plans to acquire Pensando. The strategic importance of the Xilinx acquisition to our long-term goals cannot be overstated. As the industry's #1 provider of FPGA and adaptive computing solutions, Xilinx significantly expands our technology and product portfolio. Xilinx also adds multiple high-margin, long-term revenue streams spanning a new set of markets and customers, further strengthening and diversifying our business model. Importantly, Xilinx has successfully executed its own growth strategy in recent years with the increased adoption of adaptive silicon across data center, communications, automotive, and other large embedded markets. With Pensando, we will further expand our data center solutions capabilities. Pensando's differentiated technology further expands our product portfolio and will enable AMD to innovate at the silicon, software, and platform levels to deliver leadership solutions for our cloud, enterprise, and edge customers. We started the year very strong with record quarterly revenue and net income. First quarter revenue, including the contributions from 6 weeks of Xilinx, grew 71% year over year to a record 5.9 billion. We expanded gross margin 7 percentage points to 53% and more than doubled both operating and net income year over year. Excluding Xilinx, revenue grew 55% year over year to a record 5.3 billion. Gross margin expanded 5 percentage points to 51%, and operating income more than doubled to a record 1.6 billion. Turning to our computing and graphics segment, revenue increased 33% year over year to 2.8 billion, driven primarily by the ramp of our latest Ryzen and Radeon products. Client compute revenue grew by a strong double-digit percentage year over year based on higher Ryzen mobile and desktop processor sales. As a result, we believe we gained client processor revenue share for the 8th straight quarter. In desktop, we expanded our processor portfolio with the introduction of 7 new Ryzen CPUs, including the Ryzen 5800 X3D CPU, which is the industry's fastest gaming CPU and first desktop processor featuring 3D stacked chiplets. In notebooks, record mobile processor revenue was driven by the launch of our Rembrandt Ryzen 6000 mobile processors that extend the leadership compute, gaming, and battery life capabilities of our mobile processors. In commercial, we recently introduced our latest Ryzen 6000 Pro processors with leadership performance and battery life and modern security and manageability features. We are well positioned to accelerate our growth in commercial notebooks in 2022 based on the expanded number of design wins on track to launch. In graphics, revenue grew by a strong double-digit percentage year over year with record desktop graphics channel sales. Desktop GPU sales nearly doubled year over year as sales of our Radeon 6000 series graphics cards were strong. In mobile, the first notebooks featuring our latest Radeon 6000 mobile GPUs launched in the quarter, and we expect sales to ramp over the coming quarters. Data center graphics revenue was flat year over year as we launched our Instinct MI210 accelerators. We expanded our engagements with large cloud customers in the quarter and launched our ROCm 5 software suite targeting exascale class HPC and AI applications. Turning to our enterprise embedded and semi-custom segment, Revenue increased 88% year-over-year to $2.5 billion, driven by record server, semi-custom, and embedded processor sales. Semi-custom sales grew by a significant double-digit percentage year-over-year based on strong demand for Sony and Microsoft consoles, as well as Valve's new Steam Deck. Sales for this game console generation continued to outpace all prior generations, and we expect 2022 to be a record year for our semi-custom business. Turning to our embedded business, revenue more than doubled year-over-year, led by growth in automotive. We also secured multiple design wins in next-generation security and firewall devices from Tier 1 networking providers. Turning to server, we had another record quarter as revenue more than doubled year-over-year and increased by a double-digit percentage sequentially. We have more than doubled server processor revenue year-over-year in 8 of the last 10 quarters, highlighting the growing demand for our EPYC processors with cloud, enterprise, and HPC customers. Cloud revenue more than doubled year-over-year as hyperscalers expanded their internal infrastructure deployments and 70 new AMD-powered instances launched from Alibaba, Amazon, Baidu Cloud, Microsoft Azure, Google, and others. There are now more than 460 AMD-based cloud instances available from the largest hyperscalers, with additional instances on track to launch in the coming quarters. In enterprise, revenue more than doubled year-over-year with strong growth in key verticals including IT infrastructure, financial services, and database applications. Our sales pipeline continues to be very strong, and we saw our win rate grow in the first quarter across a broad set of enterprise end customers. We launched our first EPYC processors with 3D stacked chiplets in the quarter. This technology extends our performance leadership in technical computing workloads by up to 66% compared to our prior generation. Atos, Cisco, Dell, HPE, Lenovo, and Supermicro all launched servers featuring the new CPUs in the quarter. Excitement for our next-generation Genoa server processors continues to grow as we expanded customer and partnering sampling in the quarter. We expect Genoa will be the industry's highest performance general-purpose server CPU, further extending the performance, energy efficiency, and TCO advantages of our EPYC processors. We remain on track to launch Genoa in the second half of the year and expect to continue our share gain trajectory based on expanded cloud, enterprise, and HPC customer adoption. In addition, development of our higher core count Bergamo processors optimized for high throughput cloud workloads continues to progress well, with shipments on track to begin in the first half of 2023. Turning to the Xilinx business, for the 6 weeks following acquisition close, Xilinx revenue was $559 million. On a pro forma basis for the full quarter, Xilinx delivered its 4th straight quarter of greater than 20% year-over-year revenue growth and the 2nd straight quarter of greater than $1 billion of revenue. In data center, first quarter demand was led by expanded FPGA as a service and SmartNIC deployments at Tier 1 hyperscalers, as well as low latency networking solutions with fintech companies. We saw strength in communications led by wired demand in access and optical transport. In wireless, Versal-based 5G deployments continue ramping in multiple regions, and we secured a strategic design win with a Tier 1 communications equipment provider to power their next-gen baseband solutions with the Versal ACAP solution. We saw strong demand across the Xilinx embedded markets, led by record pro forma full quarter revenue in automotive, industrial, vision and healthcare, and consumer. Looking forward, we see very strong demand across all of the Xilinx end markets and are focused on increasing supply. We now have the best portfolio of high performance and adaptive computing engines in the industry, and we see multiple opportunities to leverage our expanded technology portfolio to deliver even stronger products. As one example, we're integrating Xilinx's differentiated AI engine across our CPU product portfolio to enable industry-leading inference capabilities, with the first products expected in 2023. We have also identified significant additional revenue synergy opportunities with some of our largest customers, as we can now address a larger portion of their compute needs with our expanded product portfolio. In summary, the start of 2022 is a significant inflection point for AMD, marked by record top and bottom line financial results driven by our leadership product portfolio and strong execution, and the close of our Xilinx acquisition. We have now delivered greater than 45% year-over-year revenue growth for 7 straight quarters and increased net income by more than 60% year-over-year for the last 10 quarters. Based on higher AMD organic growth, as well as the addition of Xilinx with strong demand across multiple end markets, we now expect annual revenue to grow by approximately 60% year-over-year, up from approximately 31% growth we guided at the beginning of the year. We now see a significantly larger TAM opportunity for AMD across a diverse set of end markets based on our broader portfolio of leadership compute engines and expanded solutions capabilities. I look forward to sharing more about the products and technologies that will enable the next stage of our growth journey at Financial Analyst Day in June.
Turning to the balance sheet, cash, cash equivalents, and short-term investments were $6.5 billion at the end of the first quarter. We deployed $1.9 billion to repurchase common stock in the first quarter. To date, we have utilized $3.7 billion of our initial $4 billion stock repurchase program. We also announced a new $8 billion share repurchase program during the quarter. In total, we had $8.3 billion in remaining authorization at the end of the first quarter. Quarterly free cash flow was a record $924 million compared to $832 million in the same quarter last year and $736 million in the prior quarter. For the second quarter of 2022, we expect revenue to be approximately $6.5 billion plus or minus $200 million, an increase of approximately 69% year over year and approximately 10% quarter over quarter. In closing, we had an excellent start to 2022 with strong revenue growth across all businesses. We are pleased to have completed the Xilinx acquisition, which strengthens our business model with revenue diversification, accretive gross margin, and increased cash generation. We are very delighted to welcome the Xilinx team to AMD. Looking ahead, AMD is very well positioned for long-term growth, margin expansion, and cash generation driven by our leadership products and roadmaps.
Alright, now the Q&A portion was quite long, but I do have a couple that I want you to listen to, and let's roll them.
So first on the full year 2022 guide, it is a significant increase in guidance, up 60%. There are a couple pieces to that. On the organic side of the AMD business, we originally guided up 31% based on what we saw in the market in January. As we look at the market now and our own sort of customer and supply situation, we see that organic growth higher into the mid-30s. That's primarily driven by very strong demand in our server business, very strong demand in our console or semi-custom business, additional supply coming online. We have taken a bit more of a conservative perspective on the PC market. Again, I think the softness is in certain parts of the market. It's not in all parts of the market. And our focus is on where we add the most value in the market, and that is in the premium segments. So, Stacy, I think the data center business, particularly the server CPU business, continues to be very strong for us. I'm not going to proclaim a certain, will it double every quarter? I will say that we expect to grow very strongly over the next few quarters, and we are continuing to bring on additional supply to do that. The demand is there. And it really is, about continuing to work with our customers on that. But I think our confidence level in data center growth is very high.
Thanks for watching, guys. Now, what do you think about AMD? Are you a current shareholder? Are you planning on buying some? Let me know in the comments below. And until next time, take it easy.